think that it's out there, but it's not. It's not out there. So you are here like this human being, and you are sending out a lot of vibrations. All the time. You send it, because there are a lot of energies around us that is going out. So if you don't have this working properly, what are you sending out?
Negative.
Exactly. So, so this is the key. It took me a while because we grew up in a society where it's about helping people, but you have to, the seed is within you. Once that seed is rooted and grounded, it can bear all the but it doesn't be confusing the apple that, oh, I'm going to be an orange today, or anything like that. Or that's what they're doing now in society, is getting all these fruits to marry together and create a new product and see the illnesses we're having in our body. And that is what's happening. Because he has to learn to figure out who he is, what his mission is. That's what I do, coaching. I work with people to get, who are you? Who really are you? A lot of people don't know, and I did it for years until I did that journey. I started this journey in the 90s. A conscious choice. It's very difficult because you find out things about it and say, you're like, oh, you know, and then you build it up or you let that go or whatever. So once you don't say no, you are like a bunch of conditional reflex. Breathe, don't breathe. Come here, go here, do this. That's why I give you all that calendar. We're going to do a quick little exercise. It's so powerful. A lot of people are having problems being productive. That's going to start helping you. But that exercise, the bigger part of it, I do it only in coaching scenarios. Because it takes a lot out of me. Because I really have to zone it into you. You know, what the things that are happening, the future you are going to, all what is about you, your strengths and weaknesses, the timing of your day, the rhythms that work for you, and then we start putting it in the calendar. And once you put it, you see that you are flowing effortlessly. Because you are not doing something that is not yours. Sometimes you just need to be still. Dance a little makosa, like we're going to dance here, activate that pulse. Sometimes you need to be like, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't have that tool is what makes me to be able to write. You know, I have another book coming out, you know, and I'm saying be able to do this, be able to do my job, still be able to meet with my girlfriend for 4 hours who was supposed to be here today for lunch, as much as she needs me or I need her, be able to talk to her on the phone to our satisfaction, not like, you know what I'm saying? It's that tool. You know, I discovered it years ago, and you know, but I call it life management guide, but it's very intense. Like I said, I'm giving you all part of it today, but I really do it in coaching scenarios. It takes a lot out of me. You know, I really got, like I zoned into that prince to see what his issue was. I have to get to that level where, and then you have to be truthful. That all I want from you is the truth. If you give me the truth, I can help you, and we're fixing the truth. If you give me something here, we're fixing something else. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Okay, so now we're not gonna do the dancing up. We're running out of time. We're just gonna do it at the end. So I'm gonna start giving you some tools. Okay. You have to know that we all come into this life with an empty cup, and the energy we put in that cup, there are senses, and what we do is all we have to give other people. So we have to put something in the cup. The spirit puts stuff in the cup, but we put it from within out. And once we fill that cup up, we have to give it out. It doesn't get filled. There's no reason to hold back on success. There's no reason to hold back on letting, hold back on love. Be vulnerable. A lot of us do not want to be hurt. We are not being vulnerable, and we are not letting. You have to open up. Okay. One little quick question. Some of you have done this exercise. You haven't. Write down what you need to cook soup. Pick a soup. Like in 15 seconds, what do you need to make soup? Just list a few ingredients.
Potatoes.
You've done the exercise, just let it go.
Write it down. Write it down and say, come out with it.
You can write it down or just say it loud. Shrimp. Okay, shrimp.
Broth.
Pepper.
Maggi.
Salt. Okay.
Water.
Very good. Seasoning. Okay. All these ingredients you've given, we cannot make soup with it.
Fire.
Exactly. You need fire, you need a stove, you need a car to go to the car, you need a market, you need a farm. That's why things like The Secret and all these things are not working. But they're giving you all these ingredients, but the foundation, we don't have it. There's some of those big time tools, like with that freeze the ground, the things you need to do before you even wake up and go out there, we don't have it. So I'm going to give you a few of those tools right now. One of the tools is the first tool is really something, very simple. I'm going to fast forward with this stuff here. The first tool, something very simple for you to do, is just, it's called decision. You gotta decide. You gotta make up your mind. You have to make a choice, whatever you call it. Decide, make up your mind, choice. It's the first rule of thumb to activate your power. So you can call it choice, you can call it vision, you can call it purpose, but you have to decide. You have to choose. This is key. It looks very simple, but nobody can move forward without making a choice. Conscious choice. Because any little choice you have, simple thing like you invite me for dinner, if I don't make a choice to go, at the last minute I could just get in my car or I'm driving around and I come by, I stop by. If I say I'm going to come, I'm probably going to think how my week is going to be structured. Am I going to take something there? What am I going to leave for? What am I going to wake up? What am I going to wear? Do I need to go to the store? That also determines what route I take to go home. Because I made a conscious choice to do that. Like when I decided I didn't want to do these 2 jobs anymore in my life. It's just too much. I can't sustain that. But I didn't know I had a calling that I needed time for myself to prepare for this. I took that loan. That was in 1980 something. That was a lot of money. For someone who was making, like at May, I was making like $12 at a time, an hour. But I paid it back somehow. But the knowledge came in even more later, like 17 years later. That networking knowledge came in even more when I got other projects to do, and I needed to use that knowledge. So the knowledge didn't ask if I knew that knowledge. So that conscious choice helped me make the decision. So, because it's a very, okay. Write this down. This is something I coined. Who knows what an intersection is? What is an intersection?
The point at which you can make your mind to go in other directions.
So, which means there's one direction and one direction here, so you have 2 directions, right?
The intersection is the middle.
The middle. The intersection, refine it a little more.
They meet, cross path.
Direction.
The point where you have more than 2 interfacing.
You make a choice of which way to go.
You make a choice of where to go. This is the road going up here, and this is another road here. And you have this light over here. When the cars come, you have this whole intersection. What do you see about this? You see, this guy is involved in this intersection. This guy is involved. In here, everybody is involved. Everybody who's going to go through here is going to somehow go through this. This is something I discovered, and it changed my life. Because we live in a world where we are spiritual beings in the physical body. So there's always that intersection of the spirit and the physical. So one of the key tools you have to have is the intersection. Know the intersection. This thing is killing marriages, killing relationships. Because every time you have 2 things, there's an intersection right here. My purpose gets served in here. Your purpose gets served in here. There are more people, you bring in even, you're getting more convoluted if you have children. Everybody's purpose gets served in here. So when you are doing anything, you are by yourself, understand we are spirit in a physical cocoon. It's like this, you got to put all this stuff in here. A lot of people pay, most of the time you buy these things, you pay more for the container. That's why some bottles, water bottles or whatever, is still more because they make the bottles so exciting to pay. You can pay more money for it, but not what is inside. What is inside is like maybe 2 cents. And the spirit is within us, but that should be what is more important. So when you're doing the intersection, you always have to consider that there's a spirit, there's an entity in there that you have to mind it. So what happens is that a lot of people go to marriages, and like I said in this new book, in here, do not marry in church if you don't understand spiritual principles. More marriages, I bet, I don't do statistics, probably those who are married in church under a spiritual being are broken. Because you are bringing an entity into a relationship and you don't know that entity's laws. But unfortunately, it's an entity that like a child, a 2-year-old comes in here, takes over all of this place. They're not going to become like a kid, you know what I'm saying? They come in, they're like, everybody pales. Their rules have to work. Yeah, see my boss. So you bring in an entity that when the entity comes in, it's not going to sit in the corner watching you all do crappy things. Even if it doesn't say anything, the energy is too much. If Sister Shalom walks on where people are gossiping, they just going to shut up. You know what I'm saying? They got to just correct themselves. So that entity, even if it doesn't say anything in your relationship, it's working. So this intersection is very powerful. The intersection works in your health. It works in everything you're doing. You have to balance the nutrition. Everything, you cannot do one and do another. I see a lot of women whose marriages break up. They stay in church, they work, and they deal with their kids. Very soon the man is gone. Very soon their finances are gone. Very soon their health is gone. Because they didn't balance all of them. So the intersection is one of the keys that you have to know. If you have questions, ask. Because all these keys are deeper. So once you know your choice, you make a choice to do anything. That's the key. You start there. Because once you make that choice, what also happens? That's why, okay, now I know why I brought the intersection right here. Why did I bring the intersection right here? This is why you brought it right here. When you make a choice, you open channels to you. Very important. When you make that choice, the spirit is not going to violate you, ever. That's a rule. The spirit made rules, and they're not going to open the door if you don't open the door. That's why a lot of us are failing. We think we want to do something, but we have not invited the spiritual principles. And it doesn't matter what religion you are, is the same God is God, there's no God but God, If you don't open that principle to do things in the physical, but you have to say yes. It's like you dating somebody for 10 years. If they don't say yes, you cannot marry them. You know you're gonna get married, but you gotta make that decision. You say yes, then you do it. So that's why the decision is very powerful. Because when I make certain decisions, oh my God. Like I remember the day I got on my knees and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try, study, use my purpose. People are calling me from left and right. Oh, this person is trying to commit suicide. Can you help? This person has been discharged from Grady and from the military hospital. They're going on hospice. Can you help? I'm like, because immediately you do that, the spirit entities are like, oh yes. And the pool of Bethesda, I came home one day and somebody had preached about the guy at the pool of Bethesda. They always cast that guy out. So I came home from church and I was like, why are they casting this guy out? Everybody's like, the guy could have wiggled a little to get in the water. Then I turned on the radio at Howard University, they were talking about that guy. So I'm like, did they have a curriculum or something? Everybody's doing that. So I started doing this, and I'm like, man, the angels, what kind of angels are these? If I were an angel, I would have dropped a feather in that water. I'm like, I thought, oh Lord, my toe just slipped, and it came to my realization that the angels have been programmed. They're like, be a computer person, they're like program robots. They're not gonna use their common sense and say, let me just do this. Let me disobey. You know what I'm saying? So they already say, if you do this, they'll do this. This is very important. If you get this point, this is what your time here. You know what I'm saying? It's like these things are sitting around us right here, just waiting for you to say, they do their part. It's already been programmed. I can make maggots. I discovered this by mistake.
Wow.
I got home, opened my trash can one day, there were maggots everywhere. Tiny little maggots all over the place. I'm like, who was in my house? You know, like, if people come like this, let's do something in my house, you know. 2 years later, the same thing happened. I left cantaloupe in the trash. Okay. You know, I cut cantaloupe or whatever, I had it through in the trash. There was nothing in the trash, and my fruit. That thing will create maggots overnight. I said, oh, fruit fly. Leave a fruit to get overripe. Where did they come from? They are already programmed. I'm using simple examples to
So when
make
you
you
say
get
that,
it.
you mean that the fruit flies are already in the fruit?
I don't know where they are, but they have been programmed into the genetic
To
code.
come to
When
create
you
the bag.
set the right conditions.
Okay.
The right condition.
When you set the right conditions,
Things
those
happen.
things will happen. If I want maggots right now for an experiment or do something, I just put that thing in there. You can call it magic. Those who know it will call it magic.